Time now for the lightning round with one of our very favorite guests from the Pacific Northwest, here to tell us about a political cartoon that's put a Seattle Sounders player on defense. It's the host of the Jason Rantz show, the eponymous JR, Jason Rantz. I would just want to ask you about the cartoon. I saw it on Twitter. Maybe you can sort of unpack it for us. It didn't seem offensive to me, maybe not to some others. What say you?
Yeah, well, we're normal people, so we don't find it offensive. It's basically a cartoon that shows a TV sending rainbow messages into the brains of children, holding up a dress to the boy and male slacks to the girl. And the point of this is obviously to call out gender identity being pushed on kids at such an early age. And so this player, Javier Arriaga from the Seattle Sounders, he actually is a defender, he got into some hot water, not just with the mob of very, very far left fans, but the coach saying that he's going to sit him down and make sure that he realizes that his opinion was wrong. And this obviously sends a very toxic message in the club, which is if you don't hold very specific left-wing views, we're going to send you to re-education camp. And I think it's despicable. And by the way, if maybe they spent a little less time on the social justice, they wouldn't be 1 point out of getting out of the playoffs. And it's so easy to make the playoffs in the MLS, Kevin. You and I could start a team. We would almost be guaranteed to make it that far.
I know very little about the MLS other than the Rapids won it all a couple of years ago. Let me just ask you this. I do know a lot about politics, and apparently there's a pretty hot contest going on up there in the great state of Washington. And a person that a lot of people may not know yet, but they certainly will. Tell me about Tiffany Smiley.
Tiffany Smiley is fantastic, and every single person who sees her and hears from her is more likely to vote for her. She's going up against an incumbent in Patty Murray, who's not really done much for Washington State. She's stale, she has no new ideas, and she's been in charge as things have gotten so much worse. Tiffany Smiley is actually someone who's coming to the table with solutions. She's focused on the issues that we're actually talking about here on the ground, which is crime, homelessness, inflation. Patty Murray is talking about abortion, so everyone is looking towards Tiffany Smiley, as the polls seem to be suggesting that this is a very, very tight race, which explains why the Seattle Times and some other Democrats in the media are suddenly going after Tiffany Smiley a little bit earlier than people expected.
For those who have never heard her, here is Tiffany on with Martha today on why she believes she can win.
This is absolutely a winnable race. We're seeing it tighten because our message is a winning message. I've been at this for 17 months. I've been in all 39 counties listening to voters. I don't know the last time Patty Murray even held a town hall.
That kind of message is really resonating, Jason. I think you're right about that. Let me wrap up by asking you about the Seattle firefighters. What's going on there, and a potential lawsuit, I understand.
Yeah, 23 firefighters decided to sue the city of Seattle as well as the chief of Seattle Fire because they were fired over the vaccine mandate. They were not given accommodation, so they're suing as a result of religious discrimination. I think they have a very good case. The city and, frankly, the state never intended to accommodate for religious exemptions for the vaccine. They always viewed this as, let's just get rid of the unvaccinated. They're dirty, they're unclean, and they happen to be conservative most likely. So this was a purge from a political perspective. And as you know, the vaccine does not stop the spread of COVID, so it doesn't really make any sense to even right now still have this vaccine policy in place.
In the 15 seconds or so we have left, I imagine this is a harbinger of things to come. What say you? There should probably be more suits like this, in particular for the folks who felt like they were unjustly let go.
Absolutely. I think we have to see this not just here in Washington, but across the country. I mean, this was a policy that made no sense, and it was being pushed by the same Democrats who said, our body, our choice, bodily autonomy. Yet you can't have it both ways.
JR, Jason Rantz for us tonight. Thank you, my friend. As always, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin.